Chant by saying the four great Bodhisattva vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to help them all. Delusions are countless. We vow to see through them all. Opportunities to awaken are infinite. We vow to embrace them all. The Buddha way is endless. We vow to embody it. So we will begin with our typical 15 minutes of seated meditation. chant the Gatha on opening the sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. So, it's good to see you. Tonight, I wanted to talk about something that's known as subjects for contemplation. Some people chant them every day to themselves. Some people do it while they're meditating, and maybe you don't know what they are at all. So I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm subject to aging. I have not gone beyond aging. I'm subject to illness. I have not gone beyond illness. I'm subject to death. I have not gone beyond death. I am subject to change, separate from all that is dear and appealing to me. I'm the owner of my actions, heir to my actions, born of my actions, related through my actions, and have my actions as my arbitrator. Whatever I do, for good or evil, to that I will fall heir. The 5 remembrances. Going back to the Pali Canon. Been around for a while. And some people, like I said, chant them as part of their meditation. Some people might just, remember it throughout the day or once a day or whenever. But what would a Zen approach to these subjects for contemplation be? We don't typically contemplate or meditate on a lot of things that involve I, right? There's not a lot of I in Zen. You can't spell Zen with an I, as the saying could have gone. So we could change it to we are subject to aging. We have not gone beyond aging, and put it in the plural sense, where all the other sentient beings are part of these contemplations also. And that would be one approach. However, I think there might even be a more Zen approach to the subjects for contemplation. Everything is changing, right? This is the baseline of our practice. No self, impermanence, discomfort, dis-ease. That's just the bottom line. Those are things from which everything else springs. So the fact that things are going to change, that's a given, right? We know that, we understand that. All we have to do is pay a modicum of attention, and we see that that's the case. We can get all philosophical and say, I'm not the same person now that I was 5 seconds ago, or that I will be in the future, and why bother? Everything is always changing, period. End of story. You don't have to put some sort of arbitrary time frame on it or try and uh, delineate what a moment is, for example. So I'm subject to aging. That's what happens as time passes, right? I mean, I look back at, I don't know, some pictures of when I first ordained, and I don't feel like I'm a different guy from then, but I sure as hell know I look a little different than I did then. There is actually somebody sitting with us this evening who has actually seen me in all three dimensions, height, width, and depth. And she'll be able to attest to the fact that, yeah, you've done a little bit of aging in the, I don't know, 8 years or however long it's been since we actually met in person as a Sangha. Illness, we've been in a plague for 3 years. We pretty much have illness covered. We know it's there. It's hanging over us like the proverbial sword of Damocles sometimes, but it's there. We haven't gone beyond it as many times as we'd like to think so because we've been vaccinated X number of times and wear our masks and do everything right and wash our hands. You know, sometimes that damn little virus is just going to sneak through one of those little cracks, and next thing you know, you're on your back for 5 days. Subject to death. Well, you may not always age as much as another, and you may not get sick as much as another, but whether sickness or aging is the result of death or not, there's going to be death. Another given. Be separated from things we like, and we're going to be put in contact with things we don't like. And yeah, that's just the way it is. But the reason that there's things that we don't like that maybe we used to like and things that we didn't like but now we do like is again because of impermanence. Changing, 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 changing. What seems like a good idea today, it may turn out not to be such a good idea tomorrow. Um, heir to my actions. Some people talk of it as cause and effect. Um, Personally, I like the translation of karma as just action. One action happens, another action is going to follow. If I step off a curb in front of a bus, there's going to be some action. If I drink like a fish, get into a car, and lose my license, there's some actions. If I pick up a baby who's crying and it stops crying, there's another action. So Sung would also often talk in terms of situation, relationship, and function. And that has to do with karma and changing, changing, changing. So when you're with one person and their baby is crying and you don't know who they are, you maybe wouldn't just like snatch the kid up and start like this. might not be the right function to do in that situation. Then again, if it's your own kid, that would be hopefully the correct situation and the correct function. But where does the Zen approach to all this come into play? Who's subject to aging? What is it that's subject to illness? Who is this I that's subject to death? What is it that's changing? What is it that's separate from everything else and in contact with everything else? And who is it that's the owner of the actions? What is this? The Hua du jour, as it were. What is this that's subject to aging, death, change, illness, and karma? What is it? There are those who say that contemplating death, especially without the guidance of a teacher or someone else to work with, might get a little heavy. Some people maybe not do so well with that sort of thing. But we can ask, what is it that's subject to death? Who is it? Who is this I that's subject to illness and aging? What is it that is the heir to karma? When we do our repentance, full moon ceremony, which sometimes we remember to do, sometimes we actually sit on a full moon. One of the lines in that says that basically our karma is empty. So what is it that's experiencing this emptiness from our karma? Who is it that inherits? Who is it that reaps the benefits, the rewards, or the negative outcome of this thing that's empty to begin with? Those negative outcomes, positive outcomes, all of that, emptiness. What is it that is experiencing the emptiness? What is this? What is subject to aging, illness, death, change, and karma? What is it? So we will proceed with our next 15 minutes of seated meditation. We'll chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita, perceive that all five skandhas are empty and is safe from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form, the same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore, in emptiness, no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth until mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth until no old age and also no extinction of it, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Krishna Paramita, and the mind is going without any hindrance, no fears exist, far apart from every perverted view. One dwells in nirvana. In the three world Buddhas depend on Prajnaparamita and attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true. Also proclaim the Prajnaparamita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisattva Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisattva Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisattva. We're going to offer personal dedications of merit now. If you have anyone that you would like to dedicate merit to, I'll leave some space in there for that. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone. Those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain, may they heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to Mike Gingy Wood, Janchan Prajna, Jim, Laura Haas Knox, Joanne and Bailey Sheridan. You can add in anyone you'd like to now. All beings in the 10 directions. Go ahead, Kevin.
Continue support for the people of Sri Lanka.
All beings in the 10 directions subject to the greed, hatred, and delusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna Paramita. We'll recite our faith and practice vow. I will never retreat and will be firm in my mind in this correct Dharma. I will escape from the samsaric cycle of birth and death and definitely will see my original face. I will be sure to inherit the life of insight of the Buddha and save all sentient beings. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature and do not squander your time by night or day. I'm going to extinguish some candles now.